Hey, it's Sadthecat. Welcome back to the next week of my game Devlog. Let's do a quick recap on the progress made. So last week, I had a bug where the micro missiles only spread out in the upwards direction. This week, I fixed a micro missile bug, and bullets can now be spread in a cone relative to the big missile's direction. The micro missiles can also home in on a target. Now, let's see how it works. I'll start with the micro missiles. For clarification, I'm going to use my testing script to show you as the tester has visualization tools. At first, I want to plot a 3D circle and use a parametric equation to find the coordinates of position O. But that's really out of my skill level. At the end of the day, to get the direction of fire, which is direction VB, I need to get position O minus the origin, or add the height and radius relative to the origin. So I realized that the direction of the radius and the direction of transform.forward are identical, but not their magnitude or length, as transform.forward has a magnitude of 1. So to get our magnitude of the radius, we take transform.forward times however long the radius is. So if the radius is a length of 5, you take transform.forward times 5. As simple as that. Now we can calculate the firing direction by position O minus the origin, or the origin adding the height and radius. Our origin is transform.position. And to get the rest of our firing directions, the object will simply rotate to get a different position O in equal increments. To help see our vectors, I added a cylinder, which in my code is a proxy debug. This will inherit the position of position O and the rotation of the direction VB. I also use debug.drawArray to show the intended missile trajectory. So if all is good, my debug should align with position O and the firing direction VB. After acquiring our values, we need to apply them to the missiles. The first way I tried is with quaternion.look rotation. This makes the object look at a specified location, and normally this would work, but it's aligning the z-axis instead of the y-axis. So you can see it doesn't look quite right. Next solution I found is quaternion.from-to rotation. How it theoretically works, I have no clue, is by going from the start rotation to the end rotation. But somehow it just doesn't work like that. And I have to use vector3.up instead of transform.up as a start rotation. If anyone knows why, please let me know in the comments. Next up is the homing missile function, which is quite crude as of now as it only works on one target. We want the missile to locate and track the target, so we need the direction of the missile to the target, which is similarly done with target position minus the missile position. I will then use quaternion.from-to rotation to get the missile to look at the target and move it with rigidbody.addForce. Unfortunately, it doesn't work when I spawn the missiles, because I can't link prefabs to an object that's already in the scene. So I need the missiles to find the target on its own with findGameObject with tag. And then I tag my target as enemy here, and easy peasy, it finds the missile. It finds the target by itself. To make it look a bit nicer, I give the missile an initial burst of speed with the nitro, which is controlled by a coroutine, and then I add some particle effects right here that play upon impact, and voila, it looks pretty alright. Once the whole project is done, maybe I'll do a code breakdown on how I program everything from the ground up. So a summary of this week's progress. For the issue solved, I fixed the projectiles only spreading in a cone upwards. And the progress I've made is that now the cluster missile has basic functionality and some basic homing and particle effects. So what I hope to do next week is the homing missiles can have more organic curving, and it doesn't just snap to the target like that. It looks really weird. And to add a bit more realistic physics and movement on the missiles. Okay, that's all for me this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you. Goodbye.